dare to be different, dare to be bold. That is where we find the beauty of the essence of who you are as a human individual and what your contribution to the world is. So dare to take a chance on yourself, because at the end of the day, you will find out that just you are just an extraordinary human being, just wanting to do the best for the people out in the world.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand.
You know what you were meant to do, but you're just not sure how to package and present that in a way that sets you up for success. Well, join us as we chat with our client and awesome friend, Raquel Flores, who was in this exact spot. Find out how we helped her narrow her focus and build a brand that positions her to fulfill her goals of unleashing Latino leaders.
Raquel, welcome to Be Bold Branding.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here today. You guys are amazing.
You are amazing, and we're going to let the listeners know just how amazing you are through this interview, I hope. So
Yes.
we really enjoyed getting to know you over the last several months and working together and stuff. But for our listeners, tell us a little bit about your background. Like, what set the stage for what you're doing right now?
Absolutely. Well, my story is pretty much, starts in this little country in Central America called Salvador. I was pretty much a child who grew up during the Civil War. So I saw many things that a child shouldn't see. But even in that tragedy itself, I always knew that I was meant for something else. So utilizing and using all the life experiences that I gained during that time, I wanted to help people. I always knew I wanted to help people. I just didn't know how. So then the life and the universe led me to you all, and with BrandFace and just being and just honing in onto all my talents that I have. I know that I wanted to give back to women in my culture. I know I wanted to give back to my Latino heritage, and that's what brought me here today, trying to unleash the power that everybody has within themselves, that sometimes they're just afraid to, put it out there, or they just don't know it. So I tap into that, help leaders really just unleash all the potential that they can.
I love that story, Raquel. And for everybody listening, we love this woman so much because she's so giving. She was in our mastermind. And first of all, she reached out and made contact with everybody in the mastermind, and then offered additional help down to helping somebody set up their Zoom calls properly to make sure they could attend regularly and just help them with everything. So first of all, thank you for all the extra that you put into our BrandFace family. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
Very much. It's just one of those things, Tanya and Michael, that, just speaks to my heart. I always have a desire. It's like an incessant desire to help individuals, especially if it's something that I already know and that is going to help them get to the next level. I'm always open to helping. And it was wonderful getting to know individuals. And actually now I call my friends that we're able to, after this program, just really come to one another and collaborate, cross-pollinate. At the end of the day, that is literally what feeds my soul as well.
Oh, it just fits you, Raquel. And speaking of fitting you, right, this brand that we helped you build, your brand identifier is Unleashing Leaders. And you focus on the Latino community because of your background, the story that you just told. And I think it's really important that somebody stand up for every community, right? And when we come from a certain place, like I came from a very small town, I have an affinity for people from small towns, for impoverished areas, for, poverty, for people who struggle with alcoholism and addiction. Like that speaks to my heart and a lot of the things that I do. And I know Michael has some similar things in his life as well. So it's a personal thing. And when it's personal, you have so much more passion for it. But tell us just a little bit about why you wanted to focus on helping Latinos throughout this, because you could, honestly, you're a leader in whatever you do. You just have that persona and that drive about you. But why did you want to help Latinos in what you're doing more than anything else?
Absolutely. One of my passions, and like I said, it has taken me 30 plus years to get to know exactly what my purpose was in life. But the idea behind it is, if I didn't live through the experiences that I lived, then I wouldn't have known that answer. I wouldn't have come to this point in conclusion where I said, I have to speak up for my Latino people. But my Latino heritage, it is what really, dominates who I am. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's in me, and I live that each and every day. I have two amazing young kids who are biracial, bicultural, Hispanic, And so I definitely want to be able to leave a legacy for them so that they know that they are seen, for their ideas to be valued. So that is a heavy, heavy one that for me to carry forward. But why did I want to focus on the Latino community? Sometimes because we're misunderstood. Sometimes because our culture, it binds us to so many different mindsets that may not be conducive to progress. And so what do I mean by that? Coming from El Salvador, an expectation of a female, right, is, oh, I'll barely graduate high school, or I may end up pregnant. I just may not amount to much in life. And that was not the idea that I had for myself. But we already have these predisposed notions that I was just like, I don't fit those molds. I don't fit, whatever idea you think of me. I have something better for myself. I have better plans. So I digressed. In digressing, I became the black sheep of the family. I became the black sheep of my community, but not in an ill way, not in a malicious way, right? It was more, I have more desires for me and aspirations. So was the first one to go to college on a full ride. I went to Texas A&M University, as you see there. I'm a proud Aggie. So y'all understand a little bit of that. So, I was the first one to travel abroad, to learn other languages in my family. I speak French and Portuguese as well. So I wanted to find a way to break that generational curse that has been coming with my family because of the culture. I wanted to show my kids that there were other avenues that they could explore the world, that they could enlighten, they could learn, and also inspire people as they were journeying themselves. And that's exactly why I'm at this point. So many of us Latinos feel that we're very silent. We feel, especially women, so many of us feel that we don't have a voice, that we need to sit in the back burner, or pardon the phrase, but rot behind the kitchen. And that's not the idea, right? We have creativity. We have our own ideas that we just need to have the courage and put out there. So working with me, what I've learned is just helping them get that courage, help them to speak up more about their desires, their wants, not hurting their family or anything along the way, right? That's not my message, but my message is to empower them in order to uplift them, and so they can become more visible.
Love it.
That was all I did. Sorry.
No, it's perfect.
No, it's
It was
great.
perfect. And it's inspiring because you're a perfect example of breaking that mold, and then you can be a light to other people. We like Marianne Williamson's quote about, showing your light and how important that is, because then that gives freedom to everybody else around you to also show their light, which is pretty awesome. So you're a leader for that, and it's very attractive. We really liked working with you a lot on building out your brand. What was the most eye-opening thing about your personal branding journey?
Oh my goodness. Okay, there were so many moments. Let me see. Well, first, this was my first experience working for, developing my personal brand, or any brand for that matter. Being relatively new to LinkedIn, a year plus, that's relatively new. I knew that I had something that resonated with the audience, right? And it goes back to that aspect of storytelling. So for me, y'all having your team being able to capture in its essence the story that I wanted to tell the world, that I just couldn't know how to concise it, for me was quite a surprising process. I mean, it takes talent, and it just takes a lot of brilliance in order to be able to capture it, because it's so rich and deep. So that being able to capture the message that I was trying to get across, that it had taken me so long, right? And for you to collect just a few weeks, I'm like, okay, this is Raquel. But the work that goes behind it, the thought process, all those pain points, I was just like, oh, Tanya, this is going to hurt so bad. Why do I have to think so much? And it's because you think initially, and then the rest will really start being so clear. And that's exactly what happened with me.
I have to say, I remember looking at you in the first few weeks of this process in the mastermind setting, and everybody else's face is like, okay, they're smiling, they're whatever. And your brow is wrinkled, right? And I call on you and I say, hey, Raquel, I said, I see it. I see it in you right now. I know you're struggling with this. And you would say, yes, I'm struggling. It's like, okay, what are we struggling with? Right. And you were so open about this. Like, I don't really know how to say this, and I don't know if we've hit that point just right yet. But we kept massaging it and kept working at it until you said, that's the story. That's the story. But I want everybody to know that, yeah, I mean, this isn't for the faint of heart. I'm going to be very real about that. It is for somebody who's willing to open up the doors of their heart and their mind and say, okay, this is what I really feel like I was meant to do. Now I have to explain to the world why and how I'm going to help them in the process. And it is a very cathartic process. So I want to thank you again for being so open, because I do remember that. And you're, for those of you who can't see Raquel's face right now, she giggled like crazy when I said that, because it's so true. It's like I see her sitting there and it's like the pain on your face is like, oh, I just don't know if I'm ready to do this. I don't. Talk a little bit about the fact that, honestly, because I know there are people out there who are thinking, I want to develop my personal brand. I really want to tell my story. And they're just holding back for some reason. Why were you holding back? And what was the turning point for you?
Absolutely. I face this every single day too with individuals that I come across on the platform and through all the channels. But people are afraid to tell the story. People are afraid to put themselves out there because vulnerability, right? But at the end of the day, for me, the factor that was turning was, okay, there was not another Salvadoran woman talking about her story, talking about what we went through, talking about how we overcame it, inspiring others along the way. And I'm like, well, you know what? This is for me then. That's just God sent. The universe is telling me, Raquel, it's your time now. And so the storytelling aspect for me was am ready to tell the world everything. That's why I became so vulnerable. I had to break down so many of my walls and just say, okay, Raquel, it is time. This was your year. My word of the year was unleashed. So I think this just, and it's literally in my logo. It's literally in my motto. It's literally in what I do every single day. I help people unleash their better selves as well, the better version of themselves. But the turning point was that, Tanya, that I was tired of being silent, and I wanted to speak up. I wanted to let other individuals know that they were not alone in their journey, that we have similarities, even though from other countries as well, and that they needed to be visible. They needed to come together in unison and actually start sharing their stories, because we inspire so many people along the way. As soon as I started sharing my story this year, you don't even know how many people came out of the woodworks. They were like, oh my gosh, Raquel, from other countries, not even just El Salvador, but individuals who really had similar backgrounds, similar upbringings. And they just said, you know what? I completely understand you, what you went through. I admire you. I commend you for having the courage to talk about. I would have never had the courage because so and so and so and so. But I said, but why not? Don't limit yourself. Your story needs to be heard as well, just because you are the author of your own story, and your story, needs to be heard by the world.
Oh my gosh. And I'll never forget that moment, because we had come to you and given you a couple of options. It's like, how do you feel, Raquel, about unleashing leaders? Because that's what you do. And then you said, oh my gosh, did you know my word of the year was unleash? Unleash. Like, it literally still covers me in goosebumps, right?
Yeah.
And I know one other thing is you are also writing a book. You want to tell everybody what the name of that book is and what the premise of it is at this point?
Absolutely. So prior to saying that, I do want to say one thing, that right after finishing the program, the mastermind, I became a first-time published author. And this was, one of the biggest things that I've had, and one of my accomplishments that I've dreamt of doing. It was an anthology, a collaboration of other Latinos in all over the world, but it's one of my proudest moments. And I was just so happy to share that with you as well.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. This mastermind actually gave me the courage to do that. I put that together in like 2 weeks as I was going through the program. So, but it was part of discovering the process, right, of my personal brand and my story that helped me write that book collaboration. And so I have you guys to thank for that as well. But for my upcoming series, it's called Culture Clash. And again, it speaks to my assimilation and acculturation process, being from El Salvador, coming to the United States, and having to delicately dance between both cultures, still paying tribute to my Salvadoran roots, but, not losing sight of where I am right now and where I want to go in the future. So it goes into my life story, my first 10 years in El Salvador, coming here, going through elementary, middle school, high school, how I learned English, because English is not my first language. And that's why I said sometimes my English is not that very good looking. All the languages.
Perfect.
Your English is great.
All the languages gotta just like stay in my head. I'm like, okay, did I say that right? And then it moves forward to my young adulthood, just fitting into the societal roles as becoming a wife, becoming a mother, and what my life was during those 10 years, so that 10-year episode that I was married, and what led to what now I call my blossoming era. So it follows me through the last 35 years of my life.
Oh, wow. Wow. I know you have that book coming out called Culture Clash. So this whole process, the branding process, you already said like, going through that really kind of gave you a little bit of the courage to jump into that anthology and become a first-time published author. How else has this process helped you when it comes to business, Raquel?
Absolutely. Prior to me going through the mastermind, my God, I was all over the place. And I'm not afraid to say it because, as you saw when I was frowning during the masterclass sessions, it's because I needed the help. I really didn't have the guidance. I had what I wanted to put out to the world, but I just didn't have a structure set up. So it helped me structure myself, structure the business, and find different ideas and different ways to actually put myself out there in a professional manner. And it just the entire process of organizing myself for the brand, it was just enlightening. I was like, okay, this is how real people do it. This is how the big people do it. But obviously they have teams and teams and teams, but we all have to start from somewhere. So this process brought me that structure that I so much needed in my life in order to take my brand to the next level.
I like to think that it unleashed you a little bit along the way.
Yeah. So another aspect of that, right? So moving away from the business aspect, personally, it was a healing process for me. I think we've talked about this in the last session that we had, that I even cried because it was that emotional for me. It took out so much for me to actually speak about it, be open enough, be vulnerable. But at the same time, in all of that, I found healing. And this has been the start of a healing journey for me because I'm able to recount those things that I lived back in El Salvador, but not only tell them how they were, but also try to share them in a different light, in a positive light, turning my trauma into a positivity so that I can let others know, yes, we all come from backgrounds that maybe were not the most positive ones, but we don't have to stay stuck in that mentality, that we can actually unbind ourselves and unchain ourselves from that.
Yeah, and that is the cool thing about it. I guess cool maybe would be the adjective, is that it applies to every human being on earth. Like literally, we all have something that has bound us up, something that we're caught up in that we shouldn't be, something that we're focused on that is stealing our joy. And it's a constant exercise. And so people like you that are poignant about saying, okay, I have been enlightened and unleashed using your word. But because of these life experiences, and now I want to pass that on to other people. And now my brand is dialed in so I can point that at the people who need that the most and be attractive to the people that are ideal for my help. We're excited about where that's going to take you, the next level through your journey. And that we'll be with you the whole way because we just love you. That's just what it boils down to. And you're such a vibrant personality. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that I was kind of afraid of because all my life I've been told, oh, Raquel, like, you're just too much, like, calm down. But I'm like, but that's me. And so people, going back to why people don't probably do these things is because they feel like their personality might not be taken well. And I'm like, you know what? There is a space for you. There is a space for you to be authentic. Share your essence, your natural essence, because it will resonate. That at the end of the day, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And if they can't like you for who you are, then that means that they're not the right person for you. It is the attract and repel rule, as I say it. But in its sense, going through this process has allowed me to even love myself more because I said, I am somebody special. I have something special. And everybody has something special. Everybody has that one determinant that sets them apart from everyone. I think I wrote about it in a post earlier today that says, dare to be different, dare to be bold. That is where we find the beauty of the essence of who you are as a human individual and what your contribution to the world is. So I tell everybody, dare to take a chance on yourself because at the end of the day, you will find out that you are just an extraordinary human being, just wanting to do the best for the people out in the world.
I love it. Be bold.
Be bold.
There you go.
That's right.
Spoken like a true leader.
So what's one piece of advice that you would give to that listener out there that's thinking about personal branding? Is this what I need?
My goodness. Yes, and yes. For those individuals really who just don't know where to start, I was one of those. And I'd say that, not to embarrass myself or anything, but I'm being transparent. I didn't have a clue on where to start with personal branding. And if you are on the same boat, I would genuinely say, please reach out to Tanya and Michael. I mean, they will get it together for you. They will help you every single step of the way to really dial down on what it is that you want to portray or give to the world, right? Your message and how to clearly deliver that. So don't doubt yourself. You have something special to contribute to the world. And I keep saying that. And everybody that I talk to, I tell them, you are unique. You are here for a reason. And until you don't understand your purpose, you will still be stuck in the shadows thinking, okay, maybe I'm not that special, but you are. It took me almost, like I said, 30 plus years to figure this out. What was my purpose? But gosh darn it. And now that I found it, ain't nobody going to hush me up. I know that.
I love to hear it. I love to see all your energy. Lovely energy. Thank you so much. Okay, so one question we like to ask everybody. If our listeners have the freedom to visit anywhere in the world, which place would you recommend they visit and why?
Oh my goodness. Okay, but this has to be a place that I've been to before already, or
It doesn't have to.
No?
okay. My gosh. Okay, so my number one dream place where I'm like, I just want to go because it's so unique and just exotic is Madagascar.
Ah,
That's a good one.
very good one.
People might not know this, but I'm such a biology geek. I'm a nerd at heart, and it's just the fauna and everything, the wildlife that is there is so unique, right? Can't really see it anywhere else in the world, so I would just like to go see all the little furry friends.
Yes. Did you see the Madagascar animated movie?
Yeah.
My favorite part is when they yell out, "Hello, giant pansies," right? For anybody who's seen it, you'll get a kick out of that. If not, you're lost, right?
I love King Julian. That's just my favorite character of all.
It's very, very cute with a lot of adult humor in it. Truthfully. It's fantastic.
It will be Madagascar just because of its uniqueness. Again, it speaks to
Oh, yeah.
how I feel that I'm unique in its sense. So it really just speaks to my soul. And I'm like, hey, yeah, that would be the one place.
That's it. Put it on the vision board.
That's
It's going to be done.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, Rocky, tell the audience how they can connect with you and what's the best way for them to get in touch with you and to start working with you.
Absolutely. So you will find me in one of two places. LinkedIn is my home pretty much. Live and breathe LinkedIn, and that's where I've pretty much been there for the last 15 months. So you find me just Raquel. There's many Raquel Flores, but you only find one Rocky, and that's RAQI, Rocky Flores. And also my YouTube channel, because I do host a live stream podcast. It's called Raquel Flores Connection Corner, where it also helps unleash leaders who have a new service coming out, a new product coming out, or they just want to come in, just tell the world the amazing things that they're doing. So you can always find me on YouTube as well, Raquel Flores Connection Corner.
Raquel, my heart is so full for you. You are so fantastic, and we just can't tell the world how much we love you. So thank you for everything. Thank you for being a part of our family and for trusting us to go on this journey with you.
Oh my gosh, it has been a true honor for me, and I'm trying not to cry, okay? So it has been a true honor just to know that there are individuals with the hearts of goals that you have, that, your true message in life is to really help other folks find their way as well in their personal branding and putting themselves out there. Visibility is key when it comes for us, people who feel like they don't have a voice. So that's why we vibed well, because we have the same values, the same core values, and we want to help, and the desire to help people worldwide. So I would blindly put my hands on fire for you both at any given point. Okay. I won't do jail time though. Okay. If you do a crime, you do the time.
Back at you, sister, just short of jail time.
Well, you like a love song, let's see it says.
Thank you, Rocky. We love you.
Love you too.
Brought to you by BrandFace, the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe.